So the content, as the topic of today's webinar, as you saw in the email invite, was a multi-channel marketing approach to consistently generate qualified real estate leads who are ready to work with you now. So the holy grail, right, is to get people who are ready to go right now. We want to work with live bodies. I'm Ryan Hartman, VP of Advertising Marketplace here at Inside Real Estate. Annalisa is the Senior Social Engagement Demand Specialist. You probably know who we are, but if you don't, that's who we are. There are our pictures. And I'm going to jump right in and just talk a little bit about some theory before we get into the nitty gritty of what the multi-channel stuff we're talking about is. And I'll start off by saying one of the big things that we've been saying a lot lately is those leads, in quotation marks, aren't really leads yet. And I think this kind of thinking where we are partially responsible here at companies like Inside Real Estate for kind of making people think this way is this thinking is responsible for a lot of frustration and failure, I think, from a lot of agents who are doing online lead generation. So we had the funny meme here, that the matrix thing. What if I told you those aren't leads yet? They're just homeowners or renters, because everybody's a homeowner or renter, who might want to work with you someday. And what this sets up, if you treat everybody like a lead, is that most agents only follow up with their hottest, most ready to move opportunities, the people who kind of do reply when you send them an email or you call them on the phone. But you end up letting the other 90% or more forget about you because you're only working with the hot bodies, the warm bodies. And what happens is those 90%, of course, when they are ready to buy or sell, you've kind of orphaned them and forgotten about them. They've forgotten about you. They end up working with another agent. And it's usually, as you know, the distribution goes, the top 10% do 90% of the business. It's usually a top producer who's taking a longer term view of things, and they've installed systems that kind of incubate those leads for the longer term. Now, of course, KV Core and systems like it will help you stay in touch with people and do a pretty good job. But I have on the screen here a little note, some more theory, and that is that sending pay-per-click traffic to squeeze and landing pages, then dripping generic stuff does still work on some level. But I think one key thing we got to keep in mind is that everybody's on board with this same thing. At the turn of the 2010s, as companies like Conversion came around, you probably had less competition, less people in your market had a similar system. Now, the IDX plus websites plus lead generation type system, everybody's got one, right? There's a lot of different solutions in the marketplace, and it's becoming harder and harder to just kind of set it and forget it with the basics of sending a Google pay-per-click ad to an opt-in form on a website and then hoping that your drip email converts leads. Again, a certain percentage will. I know there are a lot of people on this call making healthy incomes, doing a lot of deals, following that process. But I just want to posit on this webinar that as we move into 2020, you might want to start to differentiate yourself a little more and kind of up your game. So I have the boring, Anna, the boring thing up at the top right. The old way, most of your leads think of you. They're either bored or they're ambivalent, or if they even think of you at all, because you're only working with, the ones who are ready to go now, but all those other people sitting in your database are just festering there. They don't even know who you are. And then if you start to take the multi-channel view that we're going to talk about on the webinar today, you get the bro, because everybody's using that word these days, right? Bro, I see your stuff everywhere. You must be killing it. And that's kind of what we're trying to get to, where your new contacts, the people coming into your fold, and the people who are in your sphere who've been sitting there for years, they've been known you in high school, whatever it might be, they're in your database, they start to see you everywhere they go, and they get this impression that you're killing it, and you're the one they got to work with. This is my real estate person. Okay, so the solution, of course, is I'm not saying to stop doing the basic stuff you're already doing. Don't stop generating fresh opportunities and running pay-per-click ads. Never stop doing that. You don't want peaks and valleys in your business. You want consistency. You want to qualify and disqualify thoroughly and continue to work the low-hanging fruit. And this disqualify and disqualify, there's going to be a twist to this that we talk about in later slides in this webinar, where, this distinction between the qualified lead who you work with right now, we give all those people the attention, but what do you do with the people who are disqualified? Meaning they're just not ready, willing, and able right now to buy a house, right? Most people are eventually going to do something. It might take 2 years, 4 years, 10 years. We're going to talk about what do you do with those people? How do you follow up? make sure that they convert eventually. And then you're going to want to use a multi-channel approach to do this in a leverage way to build top of mind status. So when they do become ready, you're the one who gets the call. So that's kind of the setup here. I'll just take a second and define what's multi-channel. I just Googled it real quick this morning. The first thing that popped up, you can do the same thing, was from SAS.com. Multi-channel marketing refers to the practice of interacting with customers using a combination of indirect and direct communication channels. And the rest of this webinar will be about showing how a multi-channel approach might look for a real estate business with specific examples. So I'll pause right here. Annalisa, do you see any questions coming in? Any thoughts here?
There is a question in regards to what do we do with Facebook rejecting boosting adverts. So I figure we might loop back to that.
Yeah, we can loop back to that. That's pretty technical and specific. Our Facebook group, Inside Real Estate Success Strategies, is a good place to go for answers to those kind of questions as well. But yeah, we can touch upon it at the end in the Q&A.
Cool, thanks.
Okay, so here are the components that I'm going to dive into now with specific examples. I think a lot of you guys will find this entertaining on some level. But the components are Facebook and Instagram, because Facebook's ad platform also gets your ads on Instagram if you want them to do it at the same time. So Facebook and Instagram lead ads, in lead in quotation marks. Google PPC ads, pay-per-click ads. YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram video retargeting. We're going to show you some examples of videos that you can types of videos you can use to retarget. There are some simple templates you can use here to get this done. Branded Google display retargeting, that's banner ads that follow you around on Google. ISA, concierge qualification and disqualification services. So there's a new twist here that you probably haven't heard us talk about a lot here around Inside Real Estate and KV Core, but we got some interesting stuff coming there. And then we'll talk a little bit about how KV Core, both the automated follow-up features you have and KV Core manual follow-up where you create content and send it out, how that all plays into this multi-channel equation. So let's go ahead now. We're going to jump into the Instagram and Facebook PPC lead gen, and I'm actually going to take myself away from the full screen because I am going to want to open up Facebook to kind of show some of these examples. So what we're talking about here are lead forms that generate a name, email, and phone number, and we have been doing this for a long time now around Inside Real Estate, as long as anybody, maybe longer, where there's an ad on Facebook. As you can see on the right side, the contact info from Facebook is pre-filled into a form, and then the lead is pushed into KV Core for you. And the way we do this is we have an option. We have our Facebook AI advertising option. It's been in marketplace for a while, where we create multiple variations of property searches. And then as the leads opt in, they come in with specific hashtags that you can then use to trigger automated follow-up. And we believe that this is one of the most efficient, cost-efficient ways to keep your KV Core database growing with fresh homeowners and renters who might buy or sell with you someday, because the cost per lead tends to be low and you get pretty accurate contact info because it's what Facebook has on file. So I'll just go ahead and click here, just kind of show you the experience. I realize that for some of you guys this is old news, but I just want to show this for everybody and make sure everybody's on the same page with what we're talking about. So if I click Learn More, there we go, pre-fills my info, and then the next will submit me into the database of that user. And then Instagram is similar. I'll be reluctant to say I rarely use, I mean, not reluctant, I'll be honest and say I rarely use Instagram. I think you swipe up, Annalisa, to create the lead form on mobile.
Yes, I believe so.
So I've run tons of Instagram ads, but I never use the thing. But I think when people swipe up or at the end, they can then get a similar lead form and submit their info. But that's what it'll look like on Instagram. So this is sort of the continue to get fresh traffic and contacts flowing into your website piece, Facebook and Instagram PPC. And we have options that'll let you just push a button and do that, including our Facebook AI and advertising and retargeting, and of course, Core Property Boost, which has quickly become our flagship advertising product. And I recommend everybody check that out as a way to get fresh blood coming into your database, and also as a way to promote your listings in a way that's really going to excite your sellers, has some built-in communication and things like that with it. So Facebook and Instagram PPC lead gen. Next we have Google pay-per-click contact generation. See, I'm getting away from that word lead. I'm trying to call it contact generation. And what we're doing is we're showing ads to people searching short and long tail keywords on Google, meaning they're searching things like, as you see in the example, Rockland County, New York homes, or they might be searching 3-bedroom homes in Rockland County School District, right? That's the long tail. When we talk about long tail, it's a really long phrase versus the short. So what we have is we have our Google pay-per-click ad service. You can do this on your own, of course, where you pick a bunch of keywords, and these are people who are specifically searching on Google, so they have higher intent than maybe somebody who's searching on Facebook and being interrupted by an ad, right? So they tend to be higher intent leads. I don't want to say higher quality, but maybe they might close sooner, over the average than a Facebook lead does because of the intent in the fact that they were searching on Google. The way that the lead is generated is they click off Google, then they opt in through the modal form on your site. And this is another good way to keep your KV Core database growing with fresh homeowners and renters who are actively searching. Now, on the slides, which you guys will get afterwards, I want to be sure to mention, and I skipped it with Facebook, is that most of what I'm going to show you today, you can execute on your own. We have training resources. We have our learning portal. There is a webinar link here where I show you how to run your Google AdWords ads if you want to. Okay, so we have all this training in various places around Inside Real Estate, and just ask us for it, and we probably have it. Okay, next we have some new stuff. So those are kind of the few things, Property Boost, Facebook ads, Google, that you're probably familiar with if you've been around us a while. Next, we have some of these new multi-channel components that we are slowly releasing. In fact, this one I think might be live in the marketplace later today or Monday. So that we can, and the reason we're launching these is because we want to be ready for 2020 and we want to make sure you have all these options available. So this Google display retargeting is when people visit your website and they are pixeled for future follow-up. And I'm not going to assume that everybody knows what retargeting is. What it is, it's that thing where you go to Amazon or Walmart or Lowe's or whatever, and then the product you were looking at starts to follow you around, right? Or you start to see more ads for the same company. So what this method involves is that you pixel the people who visit your website, you install a pixel, and then you have ads that follow them around. In this case, you can see the Joseph Macy. That's actually Nick. I think he's on our team here. That's an animated kind of GIF HTML banner ad that we create. And then it kind of does a call to action. In this case, it says search hundreds of creator front listings on the moon, but you get the point. It redirects people back to your website. Your photo and logo are displayed with a link to your website. And this helps convert your contacts and leads by re-engaging them. And the most powerful thing here about this is that, think about somebody who just came off, they were searching online for Tampa, Florida homes. They kind of saw a bunch of websites. They clicked, they opted into your site, and then they went back and they looked at Zillow, and then, hey, look, there's another agent site. They're kind of in feverish search mode because they want to buy a house. When they leave, we want them to kind of remember and put a face and a name to that email they start to get from you from the system. So KV Core starts to send automated emails, maybe a text or two with your name. What an ad like this does is it reinforces you in their mind and starts to do sort of a touch concept. This is one of those little tiny touches, micro touches, that you can do thousands of using current ad technology. So yeah, ads like this start to follow them around. Google's display network basically is millions of websites that choose to kind of make a little bit of money by putting a little code snippet on their site to show Google's ads. So you could show up on CNN.com or ESPN. A lot of big sites have this. I'm not guaranteeing you'll be on those specific idea like this identifies via Google's program. Your ads can show on, and they show only to the people coming in. Annalisa, how is my audio?
It was just starting to break up a little bit on my end.
Okay, sorry everybody. We have a lot on the call. It's being recorded. I did get a notice from Zoom that it slowed down. So if I do break up, all this stuff will be on the recording. And if I have to re-record it, I will. So Google Display Retargeting. Your contacts start to trust you more because your everywhereness starts to breed familiarity, and it also feels to them like you have a massive ad budget, and everybody wants to work with the big guy in town, even if subconsciously, and they start to think this guy or lady must be legit. And the other nice thing here is that your sphere of influence will also see these ads if they've been to your website, and they start to remember you're in business and send you referrals. Are we better on audio now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. I was getting nervous there. So many people on. I hate to have those issues. Okay, so that's Google Display. We've had our pay-per-click, Google pay-per-click, Facebook pay-per-click. We got some Instagram going, and now we're starting to follow people around after they opt in to our website with these banner ads that are slightly creepy, maybe, because they're like, how are you following me around? But we're all kind of used to this these days. We've seen it. If we talk in our living room, we start to see the ad right away because our phones are spying on us. So I think everybody kind of gets where we're going. All right, the video retargeting. Okay. This is those YouTube skip this ads. And if anybody here has kids, your kids are buried in YouTube all day, and you probably hear them yelling, ads. They get upset about the ads. They really get upset. My kids really get upset with me because me and all my friends like Josh Shaley and all our ads are shown all over the kids' Fortnite videos. It drives them nuts. But basically what these are advertisements that show before you watch a video on YouTube. And for local businesses like car dealerships and real estate agents, these can be really, really effective and really, really targeted. This is hyper local marketing in a really kind of leveraged way that you can sort of set and forget. So you can put videos like these on YouTube, and then you can do the same thing on Facebook and Instagram. And what I have here, over the past few weeks, we've been working with the video team here at Inside Real Estate on getting some examples ready. And I'd like to just kind of show you guys one or two of these real quick. So let me bring up the page where I have all our examples. And the main gist of what we're doing with this template is we're kind of calling people back into a feature on your KV core website. So let me know if you can hear audio okay when I push play.
Yeah, that slowed down a titch there.
Oh, okay. Right, can you hear Bill talking? 1 second.
No.
Yep. Okay, so if you can't hear that audio, then I'll just kind of summarize what it is, and everybody will be able to go. Annalise, if you want, I'll give you the link, and we can chat that out to everybody. Okay.
Sure.
So what this is this video basically says, hey, thanks for being on the agent's website recently. If you'd like to here's a search tip for you. Come on back to the site. And then if you search the word motivated in the keywords, you'll get a list of motivated properties. Properties with remarks that say the seller is motivated. And then it does a call to action at the end to call or email for more information. So short little videos like these, we have one here for seller focus, go back to the what's my house worth, foreclosure list, reduced properties, for example. Videos like these can help get all those people who came to your website, they looked around and they totally forgot about you. This will remind them to come back and search again.
It's such a great educational piece to help really empower them to make the search and use a trusted source.
Yeah, and it's a reason why you should use my website instead of going back to Zillow, or something else. We want to highlight the features we have. It's coming to mind as I said that we should probably be doing videos about how we have all the listings in the multiple listing service versus some of those competing websites. So video retargeting, another component of this multi-channel equation. Another piece of this that we're working on is sort of the real human follow-up, where I think it's a lot of us fall short on, me included. This is one of the hardest things to do, is to consistently pick up the phone or text or email and do something personal in real time as leads come in. So coming very soon here, and in fact, it's kind of already in beta, as you'll hear in a minute, we are going to be integrated with ISA qualification services, and that'll be available to you in the marketplace, hopefully in the next month or two. But this is a piece of it. You want to make sure if you're doing all this other stuff that you have real humans texting and calling on the phone and following up with people. So, and you want them to not only qualify your leads, but also if they get somebody who's disqualified, make sure they're put on the right path for future follow-up, which KV Core can handle very well with our smart campaigns and other features. So I definitely want to have real humans involved, and I would consider that a channel of the marketing, the follow-up. This multi-channel thing, having somebody who is following up and talking to people does count in my mind.
I do have a quick question, if I may.
Yeah.
Okay, so going back to the videos, so these are going to be videos created and canned and used per entity, right? Can they be branded or white labeled?
Absolutely. So I'm sorry, let me see if I can chat this to everybody. All panelists and attendees, you guys should see in the chat.
There it is, yep.
So yeah, the way we're doing these is that we are branding them to the individual agent. So it'll be all about your website, your name, your face. We have a friend, Terry LeClaire, who allowed us to use him as a guinea pig. So you'll see him in the videos there, and that'll be a good example of what we have in mind. Now you can create these videos on your own just using, I use screencast-o-matic.com. You know, they're not hard to do. You just get, but of course you might want them to be produced with a little more quality, which is what we're trying to arrive at here at Inside. So. Okay, so we have the people follow-up. Next, here comes KV Core with doing some things that you probably are aware of that it does. You're definitely going to use KV Core to do the auto follow-up by sending automatic listing alerts to people who come in to your fold, you know, who opt into the Facebook PPC, who opt into a property boost. If they come in through Google, you're going to want to make sure you trigger automated listing alerts using hashtags. And you can do that from the Smart Campaigns page pretty easily. You can also set up custom Smart Campaigns for your different lead sources as well. And you can also make sure that you're not currently qualified leads if, say, your ISA person talks to somebody, but they can't get qualified for a mortgage yet, for example, or they just don't want to buy it in 6 months. You want to make sure they're on a path that they can eventually re-engage and be converted. So KV Core's automatic follow-up is a piece of this multi-channel equation. And then finally, we have KV Core's hands-on follow-up, which is kind of the things you would do manually on your own. And this is where I think the money is really, really made these days. If you have all this other stuff happening systematically and on autopilot for you, if you really want to, you know, take it to the next level, you're going to want to once a week, twice a week, maybe every day if you can do it, send some interesting stuff out to the people coming in. So this would be a deal of the week, an interesting property search link, like here's a link of motivated sellers or recently reduced properties. Maybe you can record a first-time buyers or a first-time investors webinar, send a video over from your lender about the 203K program, open house announcements about new listings, you know, or announcements about a price drop and a listing you've talked about earlier, and then videos about current market conditions and other real estate related stuff. And I have an example you'll see in the slides. It's just a picture of me on the areas page on my website, just talking about what the area stuff says in the market. And Lisa, maybe I'll show that here. Not the video, but the actual areas page feature.
Yes. The areas we covered?
Yeah. So, because I don't think a lot of people know they can do this. You can go to your website /areas/ any zip code. So if I type in Gulfport,
so cool.
Yeah, I get this page. If I type in a zip code, I get this page. So what I'm talking about is you just kind of do a screencast and you say, hey, you know, here's your Gulfport, Florida market update. The average price is, the average days on market are. Here's the most expensive listing. Here's the most popular. And you just talk for a few minutes, and it's a nice way to just stay in touch and let people hear your voice. And send that out. And this is, you can find this by going to the bottom of your site, see all the areas you cover, but this will also work for basically anything in your MLS, any zip code or city. You can kind of pop into the URL up there. So that would be an example of kind of the hands-on follow-up. Now, this isn't automated. You actually have to do a little work, but KV Core does make it really easy for you to send a mass text or a mass email with this content. You know, so if you can just take the 5 minutes to record that video, or, you know, if you put forth the effort to record the webinar, whatever it might be, it's very easy to distribute it to targeted segments of your database. So, wow, that went quicker than I thought. The actual meat, I have some more here, but I wanted to take a pause and do you have any other questions or comments from anybody on right now?
Well, there's just been a couple of questions basically that we've gone through about the branding, that all of it will be keyed in towards the agent or entity who bought into the package. And then there's another question related to do with information we send out automated, which is the market report. So market reports are still available for folks to opt in as clients and consumers on your website, as well as you to enact on a contact dashboard. You can do that, I believe it's right under Smart Campaigns on the left-hand side when you open up that lead. So you're going to select their name, phone number, Smart Campaigns, market reports, and so forth.
Yeah, KV Core does so much I forget sometimes, and I would consider that KV Core auto follow-up, you can set up your prospects to get those market reports automatically. So I've added that to the slide here as well.
Yep, it's awesome, and there's also like the valuation reports. I mean, there's so much this thing can do for you. It's incredible.
Yep. So let's see. Where does this stuff live on KV Core? So we have the marketplace. These are sort of the done-for-you services. You can go to kvcore.com/marketplace, and that's where you can order pay-per-click advertising from Google, Facebook, Property Boost. The autopilot stuff, let me just get into KV Core and show everybody. We've got time. The autopilot stuff I'm talking about is usually going to be in Smart Campaigns. I'm going to do this in a new window because I have to go into the super admin account, so just bear with me. To make sure I don't show anybody else's info here. Okay. So yeah, there is the Marketing Autopilot tab. Sorry, Annalisa, 1 second.
Quite all right.
I'm showing like a very beta dev version of the KV Core dashboard, and there's some weird stuff in there. Yeah.
While you're looking for that, there were just a couple of other questions asking to the differences on the market report from Barry, and the other person just went off of my screen. CJ Minardi. So I will go ahead and ask about the differences and see where we might be on that process, and get back with you separately.
Yeah, there were some changes to the coverage on the market reports that were designed to be an improvement, but in some cases weren't. So, yep. So the automatic stuff is under Marketing Autopilot right here. For example, you can click on Search Alerts as your leads come in, and you can set up for anybody who comes in with a specific hashtag to get a certain property alert. So, you know, if the property's in a certain city, who comes in for Tampa, Florida foreclosures, you can then set them up to get all Tampa, Florida foreclosures right here. And all that happens automatically. And it makes sure that that lead who came in at least gets something from you in the email. And those are the emails I'm talking about that you want to kind of have other ads going, the videos and the Google display that let people know what your name is, so they're seeing you kind of everywhere they turn. The other place to find some of the stuff is in our Marketplace tab. You know, you see Property Boost there. Google pay-per-click ads. We will have, as I said, Google Display available later today or Monday. That was the plan. It should be available as well for you guys to get those animated banner ads going as well. So I'll hold on. You know, if you have any more questions, go ahead and ask. I do imagine that some of you guys are wondering how to get all this done. I know I moved pretty fast. Before, we do have a service that we're kind of launching in beta here that you can take part in if you want. I'll describe that in a minute. But just to recap, the whole point of this multi-channel approach is to keep your database full of renters and homeowners who might buy or sell with you someday. So you need the pay-per-click coming in. It helps qualify and disqualify contacts using the human ISA services. Helps you build your brand and top-of-mind status with your leads, and also re-engages your sphere. I think that's a very important part here, is that when you start to do some of the retargeting elements, the video and the display we talk about, people who might have forgot you were in the business start to remember and re-engage with you, and makes it so ideally all you have to do is reply to the ready-to-go prospects who are asking for help, instead of you having to chase fake phone numbers and bad emails all day. I kind of stuck this in there. So, you know, that's kind of a pain point for a lot of us. We generate a lot of leads, but a lot of those leads and contacts, they're not quite ready to go, so they ghost us. And the idea with all this stuff is that, sure, they'll ghost us if we reply right away, but maybe 3 weeks from now, they decide they saw a sign outside, you know, in the neighbor's house, and they want to know what it is, and you're the agent who comes to mind, and they reach out. And then this approach will keep you current. That's another big thing. You know, Amazon and Walmart are doing this, and most of our competitors aren't going this far yet. So there's an opportunity to be ahead of the curve before everybody catches on. Maybe as we move into 2030, 10 years from now, everybody will have caught on and be doing all this stuff. But there is an opportunity here to kind of zig while your competitors are zagging, or whatever you might say. And then finally, a comment on this: it does require some investment, either in time to set it all up, or in money to have other people do it for you, but this definitely provides ROI. We run a lot of these processes internally to attract agents and brokers to our products. I've run these sorts of systems for years now personally, can say firsthand that when I do layer in multiple channels, the cost per result definitely goes down. So if you can struggle through the pain, either the financial pain or the time pain to learn all this, it is worthwhile and you will get a return on investment. So how to get it all done? Everything I described, we have bundled up into a beta program. We kind of wanted to do this webinar to announce this concept to you guys, and for anybody who wanted to kind of come on a ride with us and check it out. We are going to be launching a way for you to have us manage all this for you. We're taking on a beta group. It's going to be $1,500 a month. There are a lot of components here, as you just saw. There's a lot of work involved in creating and managing the different creatives, and also the raw costs of driving the traffic for the different elements we talked about, including the human follow-up that's included with any leads generated in our engagement. We're looking for people who can do a 3-month commitment and then be okay with a month-to-month on this. And if you wanna participate, it's insiderealestate.com/multichannel. There's a form right there. But I imagine now that I've released this screen here, you guys are going to have questions that I might not have anticipated, so I'll let you start to ask them. And I'll explain a little further what will happen if you want to try this out, having me and my team kind of build this system for you. If you do click the link you see on the screen, your card, and you enter a card, that'll kind of show that you're serious, and that you're ready to go. We won't authorize or charge your card yet. We want to make sure that we get everything set up, that we talk to you first, we get everything in order, and then on day 10, the card will be set to be billed. That'll give us enough time to get it all going for you. And basically, we're just looking for some solid case studies on this idea. I can say firsthand that this is kind of my baby in theory, so I want to make it work. So you're going to get a little extra attention from me and the other members of the ads team to really make sure that this all gels and works well for you if you want to participate.
So there are a couple of good questions here. The first is, how does the ISA service work? Is there more information on that multi-channel link? Yeah. Perfect.
There isn't, because we haven't launched it, but I can say that we have a partnership with Verse.io.
Awesome.
They used to be called something else. They used to call Agentology. So that is basically, for anybody familiar with that, that is how it'll be done, but there's a kind of a tight integration. And part of this whole bundle that we're trying to launch here is we want the opportunity to bring a few people onto that first before we launch it to the whole audience. So you'll be one of the first on the KV Core integration with Verse.
Cool.
Yeah.
And if someone's already opted into a package for, say, Google Leads, and they want to segue to this, is there a process?
Absolutely. Yeah. Just let me know. We'll be fine with letting you out of that agreement. If you're working with one of the other components of this, we can let you out of that and then transition you into this. No problem. So it'll probably just be a matter of setting up this billing, and then we'll cancel out the other one. Definitely email, for more specifics on that, email advertising@insiderealestate.com. I'll see it come in and we can talk further.
And just to clarify, this does include ad spend within this package, correct?
Exactly. Yes, it does. So, I don't, you guys, we've been on a lot of webinars, a lot of you guys listening. I don't typically do pitches like these or sell anything on the webinar. So if you hear me bumbling a little bit, that's why. But I am going to kind of present the value here. We are going to create the videos you saw. We're going to create all those creatives, and we are going to have real humans following up, and you are going to get the ad spend all bundled in one. And part of what we've done, instead of charging a big setup fee like an agency would have to if they created all these creatives, it's kind of just all rolled into a nice package at that number you see on the screen.
And this is something that from the leverage, to be leveraged from like what the teams, brokers, offices, agent individuals, this is really something everyone can use. Is that correct?
Correct. And one of the reasons it's actually been designed this way because we've had a lot of requests from our bigger teams and some of our brokers for something like this. And the number you see on the screen includes certain levels of PPC on each of the items, but definitely you can scale with this. I've given a lot of thought, and the other members of the team have, to how this might scale, and I think we've got the right mix of things here that we can go into any market and spend a lot in theory if you really want to go big and increase market share and things like that. So
now there's a couple. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, I was gonna say we could talk about that if you think you have a bigger budget than this will accommodate.
There's been a couple of questions about what to expect with ROI, or maybe how the packages are broken down on the lead spend percentage. So do we have any information on that?
I have the numbers. I can't show them all on the screen right now. I just, they're internal numbers, but there will be, we generally try to spend as much as possible, keeping in mind that there is cost to manage this on the people side. If you email me, if you email the advertising inside real estate, I can give you a better idea of how it's broken down. I believe to give more general, I believe we're about 50-50, a little bit more than 50 on the contact generation parts, right? So the Google and the Facebook initial ads, and then it's probably about 30% of your spend going to the retargeting elements, and then remember, we're going to be paying to have ISAs call here as well. So part of the beta here, I'll be totally upfront with you. I want to make sure you get ROI, but part of the beta here is for us to figure out what that right mix is. We're operating under some assumptions, but we won't know yet until we get a nice handful of people live.
And when people consider their lead base or their contact base for retargeting and for all of the things within this package, is there an optimal amount of contacts they should look at having in their dashboard to make sure it's a more, cohesive tackle?
Well, as many as possible. I think we're going to learn how these numbers correlate. If somebody, what I'm hoping to find is that we learn really quick that there's much more retargeting and pixeled spend available with this Google display, for example, than I imagine. I want to be conservative right now and assume that most people on this call aren't getting thousands of visitors, a day to their site. But what this opportunity is, we'll work with you. If we see opportunities for you to spend more here or there, we can adjust as we go. Did that answer your question?
I believe, well, I was reading it from someone else. I think it did. So, I guess Troy, or let's see who else had asked. Always keeps going above. I can't find them right now. But yeah, if that clarified, please let us know. If not, please let us know and we'll tackle it again.
Yeah, there's some good, wow, there's a lot of questions here. Okay. Yeah.
And yeah, Troy, the program is designed to have the automated information on that front end push for the marketing. And it also runs in tandem with your KV Core automated marketing that goes out with your search alerts, your drip campaigns or smart campaigns, as well as the behavioral notifications. And then also, as a part of that, if you're making your outreach to send people information that may help them or educate them in the process they're going through, you're going to have a full, well-rounded method of communication with those folks.
Yeah, and to complete the earlier thought, the people who have already visited your website, we've been pixeling going back before you sign up for this. So anybody who's been on your website will start to see the retargeting ads. And that's where I was kind of going, like, we don't know how quickly those budgets will get spent, and part of the reason we're doing this is we want to kind of figure it out.
And this is like an all-inclusive, like we're going to go after the buyer and seller leads, because basically they're always going to be living somewhere and a potential buyer. So, I think we're tackling both demographic, correct?
That's a really good question. Yeah. So most of the ads are homeowner or renter focused. I like to use that language. Anybody seeing this ad that I have on the screen, they're either going to own a home or be renting one. Now, if you want to, with the retargeting, specifically make seller offers, we can do that for you. We can make sure that the video that shows calls people back to get their home evaluation with you, if that's where you want to focus. But what I've learned over the years is that a lot of these the best way to get to sellers is through buyers. That's kind of a personal approach when we're talking about specific internet marketing lead generation.
Right.
Yeah.
There is another question. Hey, can everything that's offered be done in-house individually by myself?
Great question, because that has been on my mind a lot. Right. So that's part of the reason why I anticipated that. That's part of the reason why you're going to see the Google display retargeting hit the dashboard. So currently, I'll just run through it. The Facebook and Instagram, yes, that's in the marketplace right now. Facebook AI advertising and retargeting. The Google PPC contact generation, that's been in there for a long time. Google Display today or Monday at the latest. The video we will launch as a standalone. We may need a few weeks for that. There's a little more involved, but we do plan to launch that as a standalone. And then Verse is probably coming after this test group in the next month or two. as well. So yeah, we've kind of been careful that, you know, for anybody who doesn't have the budget for the 1,500 can kind of take the pieces that they need and order those a la carte if they want to. Yeah.
All right. I'm
So
looking.
most of the way there.
Yeah. Oh, hey, Greg
The
had
other
a
thing
great
I'd
question.
like to go. Yep.
Okay. So Greg's saying, hey, can you elaborate a little bit more on that skip ad strategy?
Sure. Boy, I wonder if I can make one show up. It's kind of hard, but let me go to YouTube. It's where you click on a YouTube video, and then before you get to watch the video, YouTube shows you an ad.
The little when it is a little countdown and everything. Yeah.
Yep, so it worked. So this is actually promo.com. They're a video service, and I actually was looking at them recently as we were designing all this, so we decided to do our videos in-house. So here they are retargeting me with exactly what we're talking about. And you can see the countdown at the bottom right. And then if I can skip it once it runs out. And now I can see my Portugal the Man video if I want, which by the way, this has nothing to do with this webinar. If you've never seen Portugal the Man live, they're awesome. They're not the poppy thing. Yeah, they're not the poppy thing you think they are. They really kind of rock. They're like driving.
They're very Portland.
So, yeah, I think they're Alaska. Do they live in Portland now?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. So anyway, yeah, the video retargeting, that's where somebody will be watching YouTube and their kids will start yelling at them because they're like, Mom and Dad, why am I seeing all these ads for a real estate agent? You know, are we moving? So
someone's asking, if you have a smaller budget and you're working towards getting to this level, where should you start?
I would start if you have a small budget. We didn't talk about social posting, but in the learning portal in KV Core, you know, we have some courses about generating free leads by posting socially, posting squeeze links. I think that for anybody who's just getting started, that's a really good place to go to get fresh leads coming into your database. And then from there, maybe check out when the tile goes live for the Google display advertising. Check that out. I think it's going to be $100 a month to get started. It's not a lot, and you'll get the banner ad going. You know, and you can layer that in with the leads you have coming in that way. And then I'd also definitely point to Core Property Boost, because for $60 you can generate a very nice cost per lead, and it's not a recurring, and it's just $60 at a time. So maybe those three. And then go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, I think we need to clarify something on expense and a la carte. Just to make sure everyone's on the same page. So there was a question, does it mean we have to pay individually if we want to utilize services that are within this package? Or, you know, is there going to be the ability to like pick and choose segments in the future?
So the answer is this package includes everything I just talked about. Right. It's kind of standard. But what I was saying was that you can go into the marketplace in KV Core now and order most of these components today on their own if you want. But we're not gonna, you know, we're not gonna have the ability to kind of custom design on a client by client. You can just kind of go pick the pieces if you want. If you have questions though, like the person who asked, you know, what do I do on a limited budget? We're very happy to kind of guide you. Just email advertising inside real estate. That'll go to the support queue, you know, the chat in the dashboard, and then we're happy to talk with you there. We're not always the quickest, but we will reply and try to give you really good advice on where to go. And you know, I'm aware that for a lot of people who are solo agents, you might not have a team yet. The 1,500 might be high, but there are ways to kind of a la carte this. And for those of you guys who are in a position where you have more money than time and you just want to scale and you want to have all these pieces going, I think what we've designed here, I'm pretty confident is going to work pretty well. Saw some other great feedback, Marie. She's saying we need to provide a page with everything that's included. I'll definitely, when I send the replay out, that will definitely happen. There'll be like a proper sales page and all that stuff with all the bullets. Yeah, thank you.
And this video, will it be uploaded to our YouTube channel on the insiderealestate.com/webinars?
Yeah, it'll be it will be.
Okay.
Hopefully later today or tomorrow morning, and we'll also email it out.
Perfect.
And I'll make sure in the description of the replay video that you guys can get all these slides with the examples as well.
Awesome.
Yeah. Or we'll have it as a PDF or something.
Cool.
Now, guys, there are tons of comments and questions here. If we missed anything, just feel free to ask us after. There's way more than we expected, question-wise.
And there is a question just about the KDCore Open House app. We did push out an update not too long ago. So if you experience an issue with an app, make sure that it's updated, one. And secondly, if all else fails, uninstall it, reinstall it, or contact a support, and they should be able to assist you. Just make sure to include the type of phone, the type of service, whether it's Android or Apple, and the version of software you have.
Great. There's a question, can we do this for specific listings or is it branded for agents mostly? I would use Property Boost for the specific listings alongside this. That's a good 1-2 punch.
Mm-hmm. And Lillian saying, hey, can we use this without paying for the package, or is there a fee to use the services other than ad spend? So Lillian, when you open up your KDCore dashboard and you go a little bit halfway down that left-hand side, you're going to see the marketplace tile. And this is where Ryan is at right now on his dashboard. And this holds all of the products of which you can opt into using via KDCore that can help enhance your business.
Right, and then there's the learning portal where there's a lot of this stuff is mentioned. If you go to Inside Real Estate Growth Strategies, for example, there is a course called Real Estate Retargeting 101. I think in that course I show some basic Google display retargeting. I can probably add a video there in the next few days about how to do the YouTube. And we want to keep in mind that everybody on this call, everybody is at different levels in their business with respect to being able to spend, $1,500 a month. So we do have options that'll let you do it yourself. You can learn it, or you can just kind of push the button and go.
And in speaking to cost, you'll need to click onto the tiles to learn more about everything in detail and cost and so forth.
Yeah, Property Boost starts at $60. The Facebook starts at $250 a month. Google, we start at $500. And then, once the banner ad retargeting starts, it'll be, I think it's 100. It's going to start at. Cool, guys. I really appreciate all these questions. You're helping us. This is partly market research, so you're helping us a lot by just, helping us understand what your needs are, and these questions are revealing a lot. So thank you. Okay, what are the videos that will be retargeted? I do have that link. I'll drop it again to Thomas and to everybody else. You can kind of see some of the examples. And saying very complicated but powerful. Yeah, it is. That's the trick here. And I'm almost cringing right now because I hope a lot of you guys don't order this because I'm gonna have to set it all up. But there is a way to do all this kind of one step at a time. If you're looking at doing it on your own, just take one piece at a time. Don't get overwhelmed. Add them to your business. Everything's about systems. And after a while, you'll have a nice multi-channel system running for you. Or you can just push the easy button and have us do it. Yeah, and it is available now. There's a question about whether this is available. It is. The plan is to kind of onboard this initial group. And you guys, anybody who orders today, you should be live, by the turn of the new year. I'm going to have a busy Christmas, but it's going to be a lot of fun working with you on these. And we're looking to get some awesome case studies as we go.
Yeah, I think that'll be integral, that the information we get back so we can make sure we're tailoring this towards everyone's needs and maybe get different perspectives. It's going to be great.
Yep, but I want to reiterate, this wasn't just about selling you guys this package. We want to make it available because we know there's demand for it. But you can, I think the most important takeaway here is that we should be thinking as we move into the next decade about evolving our marketing game. And some of the stuff that we see Amazon and Walmart, some of the bigger advertisers doing, if we see them doing it, with all the smart people they have on staff and all the money they have, if we see them doing it, it probably is a clue that we should be getting on board there. So I hope you take some of this, as inspiration and can start to implement some of it too. The live link to sign up, I'll share it to everybody right now. I think it's insiderealestate.com/multichannel. I realized that there we go, I took the slide off the screen, but there it is back.
And someone's asking about some information on an ETA on, a tool of behavioral alerts. So I really encourage you to chat in with support via the bottom right-hand side of your dashboard to ask for ETAs or to check in on feature requests, or email kvcore@insiderealestate.com.
So yeah, thank you again for everybody for the questions. I hope everybody has a great holiday over the next few weeks. This is a great time of year, of course, to kind of look at our businesses, and this is why I kind of wanted to get this webinar out and this content out. I think it's a good time to kind of stop, think over this stuff, install new systems, before the buyers come out again in January and February. So
Tom,
thanks.
Great new toys. Can't wait to see them on the marketplace. It's super exciting, I know. And then Robert's asking, hey, what about the sharing the cost with a lender? So you would definitely need to follow the RESPA laws, and I would encourage you to just reach out to billing@insiderealestate.com if you have further questions.
Yeah, that's a really good point, and we probably should have baked this in, but we can probably do stuff with your lender alongside these components. So if you do the base 1,500 and your lender says, hey, I want to add something in, just coordinate with our billing, but we're pretty flexible. Barry, I'm sorry, and how are you? Barry had asked in the beginning, can you mention anything about Facebook blocking advertisements? I posted in the Facebook group about this. There's lots of different reasons why Facebook would block something, but I ran into one where it boosted, somebody was trying to boost this week, and it kept saying that it was a bad URL.
Right.
But what I suspect happened, and I cover it in this video, I suspect that maybe they forgot to check off the special housing category, the new thing Facebook's been doing over the past few months. When I went and ran the ad, and I did show it in the a video of me doing it, it did work okay. So I'm trying to find that right here and to send it to you.
It's been a busy week in there. Click on the video thing on the left.
Yeah, guys, it's yeah. But Barry, go ahead. Yeah, I was gonna say Barry can just email me, just give me specifics, and I could probably help you troubleshoot it.
And then I also, Barry, just so you're aware, I shot on that other question that you had on that campaign as well. And then George, the link for this webinar will always be sent to you via email from the system, and I believe when it concludes as well. And it's also going to be at insiderealestate.com/webinars. And that's where we put all of our information that we create.
Oh, Tom brings up a good point. Facebook is blocking ads with short links. Yeah, I mentioned that in the video. If you're using the short version of the squeeze link, Facebook doesn't like redirects. They call it deceptive or something. So that might be what you're running into, Barry. Just use the longer version of the link. You might have to run it totally fresh because their bots aren't that smart and they think you're just trying to rerun the same thing for some reason. Just start totally fresh, preferably from the main Facebook ads dashboard. You should be okay.
And Tom's saying, hey, what about the YouTube retargeting? So that right now, that's part of this package as a whole. Is that correct?
Yep, and we do plan to offer it as a standalone service, and I will do a video in the current retargeting course in the learning portal. Sweet. I'll add a video about how to run a YouTube video retargeting ad. It's pretty simple, really, if you know how to do regular YouTube Google retargeting.
And I've got a link to that Google remarketing thing we can drop somewhere. I'll grab it and put it into the group today as a vault.
Cool. Yeah. Yeah, we've had some webinars, Annalisa, if you want to, in the Facebook group. Anything you think was relevant here that we've done in the past, maybe we'll have a thread. Yep. Yeah,
absolutely. There's a lot of things that my mind is abuzz with.
Yeah. Andrew's asking, how are the videos selected that the skip ad gets attached to? That's a good question. Any advertiser anybody with a YouTube channel who allows advertising on their channel, and there are a lot of YouTube channels that want to monetize by allowing ads, would allow your video to be shown. What we'll do is we'll show it to anybody who is pixeled on your site. We'll allow the video to show to anybody in your market area who's been pixeled on your site, and it's one of those videos where the channel owner has allowed it. Boy, I hope that makes sense. That's great, Barry. I look forward to meeting with you. I think we met in Orlando, right? So this will be fun. Yep.
I have met him virtually.
Yeah.
All right. I think we're caught up on questions. Anything else, everyone?
Can it be attached to good target market videos? Andrea, if you want to provide your
Oh,
own videos, we will do that, if that's what you mean. I should have mentioned that, but as part of the service, if you have your own creatives, that just makes our life easier. You say, hey, here's my YouTube video. This is what I want to show. Of course, we'll do that for you. The ISA will be a separate option, Tom. It's just not yet. Give it about, I think it's about a month away. Don't hold me to that, but it's close. It'll
and
work.
oh, go ahead. You're reading it. You got it.
Brian's asking if this will work for multifamily. Yeah, it'll work awesome. I'd love to work with you on that. We can kind of niche this down, guys. We can't, it's not going to be can't go too crazy, but within the confines and the examples I showed you, we can change things out to fit whatever your niche might be. So if you want your follow-up YouTube video to be about multifamily income properties that might cash flow, definitely. Yep.
And I don't believe we have pricing available on the ISA cost as a standalone as of yet. Is that correct?
I have in my head, I'm not allowed to share it,
right.
and it's awesome. It's amazing. It's amazing. It's amazing. It's going to be a really good deal. I think a lot of you guys are going to be excited about that.
And there's a great question about, again, is this something we can do ourselves? So I think it's something to sit down and maybe look at this program that's available, and then also look at what's available locally for you within your own office if you have a marketing person who's doing these things, or if you have to hire it out, and quantify and look at like the difference of service will be offered through our service, which is all inclusive, going right into your dashboard, and or if you're going to be doing a separate company outside and what those number differences may be.
Yeah, you can do all of this yourself. I think we have most of the stuff I talked about, we have tutorials available. We'll probably do more in the future. I will say something about one of the advantages of working with us on this is that not only do you have me and the other people on the ads team who've been thinking about this stuff for a couple decades now almost. This is all we've done is real estate lead gen and follow up. You're getting kind of the agency, you're getting an agency with a ton of experience here who also knows your tech, the tech that you're using inside and out. So
and understand real estate.
And we understand real estate. So yeah, you can definitely, if you showed this webinar, and you're totally welcome to a third-party agency, I'm sure there are a lot of them that could execute this too. So definitely welcome to.
Does this package loop into the use of Facebook Messenger?
Not currently, but if you have a messenger bot already that you'd like your traffic to drive through, at least on the retargeting, I don't see any reason why we couldn't do that for you.
Awesome.
But we're not currently creating messenger bots. It's a whole nother can of worms, and it's really tough, in my opinion, to get those to convert for everybody. It's an art, but very cool.
And with like the skip ad feature, do you know if we can attach it to a specific brand like Rolex or Lexus or something like a luxury type of? Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good question. So the only concern I had there, I've tried this in the past. Google allows you, they own YouTube, they allow you to choose specific topics. You can even advertise on specific videos and channels. Where it gets challenging is if you're in a very small market, and a small market means just one market within the United States or Canada, there might not be a lot of traffic available. So we might set your budget to be X number of dollars a day, and it would only spend a tiny piece of that if we're only targeting those luxury channels. But I'm happy to try it. And we could also, if there's not enough retargeted traffic on those channels, people pixeled on your site already, and you want to run a YouTube video to a broader audience on those channels, we're open to it. It's not a lot of extra work for us.
And what's Google Display in a
question.
nutshell?
Yep, Google Display Network. I'm going to Google it and show you guys here. I was hoping to find.
I know what that is. I just put it. Oh, I know I have something going out tomorrow on that. Sorry.
So what it is let's see if this is a good graphic. I was trying to pull one up. What it is Google has.
Hold on, you're slowing down a bit.
Excellent. Okay.
There we go.
It's because I went to a lot of websites.
Yep.
Yeah. Google has this system where a website owner can drop a pixel on their site, and then it'll show ads, and then the owner of the website will get a portion of Google's revenue. So it's a massive, massive network. You'll be on a lot of sites.
It has a strong carry.
Yeah. Is the audio better?
Yes.
Okay.
And there was a great suggestion saying, perhaps there could be different levels of options
Yeah.
available. So I think that's something we can look to consider as we're building this, perhaps. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just really hard, as you
Yep.
saw components, it's really hard to mix everything in at a lower number because we need to do
Yeah.
a base minimum of each kind of category in
Right.
order. Like I can't run a Google campaign of $20 a month. It won't do anything,
Mm-hmm.
So
But we will eventually have the standalones, which then they could put together.
yeah,
Yeah.
most of them are there, but we'll have standalones for everything.
Cool.
Google Display will be offered separately. I think it's coming live at $100 a month later today or tomorrow or Monday. Thank you, everybody.
Lots of exciting stuff happening. This is incredible. Yeah. So Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays, everybody.
Yep. So we'll get the replay out to you as soon as possible, probably later this evening or tomorrow. And we look forward to being on webinars like this with you more in the future. Annalisa, we have some exciting news coming, right? We have a whole new training schedule coming. Lots more content like this. We won't always have a sales pitch for you. Usually we won't.
Right.
And that's starting in January, right?
I believe I'm going to kick it off on January 6th. Right now, I am completing the details for presentation to my higher ups to see if we're all on the same page. And I've kind of worked on a skeleton calendar, so I think it's going to be about 8 to 10 classes a week, which is pretty exciting. I'm excited to get back into the role.
Yep, so we're going to have a beefed up training calendar for you all as well going into the new year. So Happy New Year to everybody. Everybody who's decided to take us up on this offer, you'll be hearing from me very soon if you haven't already seen my video after you ordered about that. And looking forward to working with you.